Hey guys, thanks again for tuning in. Jay Helmsing here. Today I'm going to do a shooting impressions video for a gun that I've had several requests. I've had several requests to get this shooting impressions video out to you guys, and I feel like at this point I've got just enough data to do that. As you guys notice, if you've watched the channel, it's taken a while for me to get to this point, and I've got several hundred rounds through this gun, and I'll tell you kind of why I did an extended testing of this here in just a moment. But to set the stage, I'm going to show you the that's right, the gun's right here because I've been carrying it daily. So get it unloaded and check clear for you guys, and we'll go ahead and get this review started. This is the Sig P320 X Carry. As you guys who have seen my original video know, I was really highly impressed with this gun out of the box. And I'll take you from the beginning. When I first shot this gun, I was flat out floored at how well it shot. And I thought for a moment it might be a fluke. And so I did some extended testing with this gun just to see if I was going to have any malfunctions, any errors, if the pattern was going to spread out any. And long story short, this gun has been rock solid reliable, and it is extremely accurate. And that's coming from somebody who I fired the P320 X5 when it first came out. And I got to be honest with you, when that gun first came out, I was not impressed whatsoever. I was impressed with the gun on paper. However, in the hand shooting the gun, I just didn't feel like it was the magic that it was portrayed to be. This gun, on the other hand, this X Carry, this particular gun, and I'll get into why I'm saying that here in just a moment, this has been an amazing gun. So much so that after a week of shooting it, I sold my Glock 19 that I normally carry. I had that much confidence, that much faith that this gun is doing a better job of what I want in a carry gun than my standby Glock 19 was. So, you know, we'll I'll get into some nuances of that here in just a moment. But I'll tell you, shooting impressions, the sights obviously being X-ray style sights, I really like the sights. I'm a big fan of the X-ray 3s. No different here. These sights were point of aim, point of impact. They are centered, and as I mentioned before, you can't adjust that rear, so they're not drift adjustable. At least the rear is. In the front, you can drift adjust a little bit. But these have been just dead on accurate out of the box, so no need to change anything there. And that's pretty common for me, at least on Sig pistols. I really don't have to change it any from the center location there with the sights. Manipulation's very easy with this gun. It's still got that older nitron kind of chalky finish on it, not the slick finish like you're starting to see that diamond coating. I really don't like it. Probably good for holster wear, maybe a little bit faster out of Kydex, but in the end, more important to me is going to be how it reacts when I try to manipulate it. And this kind of more chalky finish here just seems to do a better job at giving me something to grab when my hand's sweaty, when it's rainy out, when it's cold out, things like that. So manipulations are very easily done with this gun, more so than the regular 320. I guess the grip itself, you know, if you want to talk about that, it's much better, in my opinion, than the standard 320 grip. I like the flat sides of this. I like the steep beaver tail here, the more extended beaver tail. I love the undercut here, the X5 style undercut. I love this grip style, and it just points and fits in my hand so natural. It's one of the most ergonomic grips that I've ever felt. And there's so many things I like about this gun that I don't want to come off as like that I'm letting that cloud my vision. But you know, I love this grip. The trigger, that flat face trigger, obviously nothing else has been done to the gun itself internally, the trigger system, the firing control unit, anything like that. But because of the flat trigger, you are going to get a little bit more leverage on it, and it's going to feel a little bit reduced as far as trigger pull. It's just a breeze to shoot. It's easy to shoot precisely. It's easy to shoot rapidly. Just a really nice gun to shoot. And again, that grip kind of lends itself to being very controllable. I don't have any issues with anything locking open, failing to go into battery, anything like that because of where I place my hands. Just very well thought out, very well put together. The magwell on this gun, just superb. You really could not ask for anything else out of a factory magwell on a gun. I mean, you could almost throw the magazines from across the room and they would go into this magwell. It's that nicely tapered. So you know, that's kind of my synopsis overall of the gun. Now I'll get into some kind of anecdotal stuff next. You guys really have me sweating, and I'll tell you why. From what I've seen out there, especially the comments, posts, whatever, on the original review that I did of this gun, the out-of-the-box review, some of you are having issues with this gun, and that to me is alarming, because I do put a lot of faith in this gun, and I've had really, really good luck with it. So much so that I'm looking at purchasing more of them, just to have as standbys and whatnot. I can't say that I've had any trouble at all with anything in this gun. Mine has extracted perfectly fine. Actually, it clears a little bit better than some of my other 320s that just kind of dribble as I extract. This one seems to extract a little bit better. Feeding has been great. Haven't had any issues there. Some of the other issues that I saw people post about were the failing to go into battery, and I'll show you guys this. This has gotten broken in since I started using it, but you know, with this gun, basically now I can pull it to maybe a half cycle and let go of it, and it's going to be completely in battery. Okay, so as far as those short cycles and whatnot, because it is a tighter lockup, it is definitely wearing in. That's going to be just a little bit short there, but it's still probably in enough to get the striker to release. So again, from slide lock or from full recoil, zero issues going into battery with this gun. And that's been since round one out of the pipe, even when it's a little bit tighter than this. So it is breaking in, but you know, it's completely, I have no worry that it's not going to go into battery when I need it to do so and to load the next round. So again, this gun still super tight lockup, no wobble, nothing crazy going on. But again, it is getting easier to go into battery, so I'm not having any of those battery issues that some of you have had. The striker, somebody posted the striker was not hitting the center of their primer and not igniting rounds. I don't even know what you could attribute that to, aside from like a really horribly machined slide. But no issues with that here. I've not had any problems at all with this gun. So round count's around 700 right now out of this gun. 700 hollow point, ball ammunition, factory ammunition, and also my own reloads. No issues at all. So again, this gun completely 100% reliable. Some of the other issues, some of the other questions that I had before were about interchangeability. To answer those questions, this slide will go on the P320 Compact. The P320 Compact slide will go on this grip frame here. It is all modular. It's all interchangeable. There's nothing different there. You could take this fire control unit out if you just wanted the flat trigger and didn't want to mess with removing the flat trigger. This would go into a normal 320 Compact. So completely interchangeable. There's nothing here that is specifically unique to the X-Carry system necessarily. It will all retrofit onto any of the 320 platforms as far as I know and as far as I've tested. So just to kind of answer that question out of the box. Now, some of the other concerns and things that maybe I didn't talk about in enough detail before. Really, the biggest complaint that I had out of the box, I don't know why I didn't mention this when I first did the video, but this, in my gun, this slide release here, this lock for the slide release was extremely, extremely tight. And I've seen some other people complain about that. And what I found, it's got to do with this oversized guide rod here. In the recoil system, the way it's set up is a little bit tighter. So as long as I make sure that it's canted, as you guys can see, I can move this up and down. But as long as mine's canted in an upward position like that, and I put some decent pressure, I found it easier on mine if I'm going to go ahead and put my thumb on the other side here and kind of assist it in rotating that way. It is not super light by any means. It's not anything that I can just easily rotate, but it has gotten more loose as I've been shooting it. So I failed to mention that in the initial reviews, just something I thought I'd point out as you know, firing it. These are a little bit tighter, at least this one is on my X-Carry, a little bit more tighter than most of the 320s I've played with. So just something to think about. It's nothing that's detrimental to the gun or has been a real issue, but again, it seems to kind of be mitigated if you make sure that recoil spring rod is kind of canted in the upward position, kind of gets it out of the way a little bit more. I've got a 320 with a Gray Guns fat guide rod that I've got to do the same thing with. So I attribute to this this recoil system here it's a little bit different, a little bit tighter probably than the other slides have. So something to chew on there. As you guys can see, I really haven't cleaned this gun a whole lot. I've just kind of clean the bore out a little bit here and there, but it is completely reliable. It's been no issues with gumming up, anything getting sticky, gooey, not functioning, whatever. And as you guys see the bottom there, plenty of carbon buildup, but again, just nothing that's been any alarm at all as far as functionality of the gun. I couldn't be happier with it. I used to carry a 320 compact, used to carry Glock 19. This gives me 15 plus 2, so it gives me 17 rounds with the full-size mags. And I don't have to do any trickery, any crazy stuff. It doesn't seem to print anymore. You'd think maybe with that the butt being a little bit bigger it would, but I haven't had an issue with this printing any more than my Glocks did or my regular compact 320. So just some things to think about if you're concerned about that. Now, as far as reliability goes, I can only tell you what I've seen with this gun. I can't tell you what's going on with all the 320s out there. I can't tell you if there's a chronic issue with them, but I have seen several people, alarming amount, complain about having reliability issues with these guns new. I don't know what to attribute it to. Again, this gun, completely reliable out of the box. There's nothing that I've done to this gun to change it, and I couldn't ask for anything more. I really couldn't. So that just, I guess, goes to show you, but that's just my experience with it. So if you hear those rumors out there, that might be true, I don't know. And I'm kind of holding my breath. Like I said, you guys have me kind of sweating a little bit to make sure that it's not just a fluke, that the gun is as good as this one is, and it's not just a one-off fluke that I just happen to get a lucky one here. So that is what it is, and it's been reliable enough for me, like I said, that I carry it concealed daily now. It fits a little bit better with me because my department uses the 320. So what I found over shooting over time, I'm still a little more comfortable with the Glock platform. I've just spent so many years in this platform. However, if I shoot a lot of the Glock stuff, I tend to be training a little bit negatively because I carry every day on duty a P320 style gun. So the biggest difference for me, and you guys will see it as I kind of line these up here, is this slide is so much taller on the Sig guns that it causes a little bit of an issue with me. I don't have an issue with pointability or getting the sights on target or anything like that. My biggest issue is remembering where I need to put this gun so that it lines up as I draw. And for me, it's just easier to stay parallel with that and carry a 320 style gun, so I'm not training negative when I go out and shoot, and I've got something on me that mirrors what my department issues anyway. So take that for what it's worth. I kind of lean a little bit heavier on this platform because of that fact, but for me, I don't see any reason that I would still carry a Glock 19 over this. Like I said, it conceals the same. It holds 2 more rounds. The accuracy with this is phenomenal, and I mean probably the best out of a striker fire gun that I've ever fired. That includes the 320 X5 that I was talking about earlier. That gun was not as accurate as this. So again, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I've got a factory freak here or if that's just the nature of the gun. But I can just tell you from what I've had and from what I experienced, very, very accurate gun. It just puts rounds through the same hole with really no effort at all. So take it for what it's worth. But everybody's kind of talking now about the X19X or whatever that is, the Glock, basically the MHS gun that they put a bunch of money into that they want to sell to the civilian market now. You basically already can get it from Sig. It's just not a fancy brown platform, but it's got the optics plate on it. Holds 17 rounds. It's got the mullet style with the larger hand grip and the shorter compact slide. Same sort of gun there. It's got a flat trigger as opposed to the Glock. This has got the drop upgrade stuff if you're worried about any of that. These controls, at least for me, stay well out of the way. I don't have the issue of riding them like I do on Glocks. And my example has been very reliable. So, take it for what it's worth. That's just kind of my 2 cents on it. But I can't find a compelling reason not to carry the gun. Really can't. And like I said, I spent extra time on this gun. I beat it harder than I do most of these guns just to see if it was going to, the newness was going to wear off, the magic was going to wear off, and I was going to also have a lemon like I've seen some other people post. It just hasn't happened. So kudos to Sig. Those of you who are apprehensive, Give it a shot. I fully believe that if you do have a gun with issues, Sig will get it sorted out for you. I've seen and heard and had very positive customer support from them. And there are a lot of these guns out on the market, and that's something you have to consider when you're looking at something that you're going to carry. There are a lot of really neat guns out there, but obviously the more of these guns that get out into the public hands, the better it's going to be. You know, the P320 being picked up by the military, also being picked up by Chicago PD, some other very large police departments. Those issues you're having as far as, you know, the slide not being milled correctly, or you know, not going into battery, or the ejection issues that you might be having, will probably get a fix developed for them, because they're going to be noticed, because they're out there in duty hands and they're being tested every single day. So I have a lot of faith in this platform that if you do have issues, those will be fixed. But again, this gun has been flawless for me, and I wish you know, I had something else I could tell you, but I really don't. I love this gun. I really do. There are a lot of guns I like. This gun has been just a gem to shoot. It has been as exciting to shoot as it looked, and it's been everything that I hoped it would be. So, you know, sorry for those of you out there that were hoping that I was going to have a limit and I could give you some bad pointers about it. I don't have anything bad to say. So, you know, take it for what it's worth. It's this example here, and probably not indicative of all of them out there. But again, thanks for tuning in. Continue with the questions. I'll answer them as I see them, as I'm able. I will leave you with a closing thought. I have seen several people comment about the ejector issue. They've had the same sort of ejection issue that the 320 had, as far as failure to eject stovepipes, failure to extract. I have had a duty issued gun that did the same thing. Not obviously an X-Carry, but a P320. And at the time, my armor was able to trace it down by an incorrectly assembled part. So there's basically behind this cap here with your striker, there's going to be a little plug on the end of it, and then a spring, and then it's going to go onto this extractor bar here, the actual bar that pushes against the extractor here. And they said that due to an incorrect installation from the factory, some of those wouldn't be snapped together like they're supposed to be, and they cause binding in there, and they cause premature wear. And in my gun, there's actually a cracked a chip in the extractor face itself. So the gun would fail to extract, and it'd leave a casing in there. So we ended up replacing the extractor, the spring, the entire assembly except for the cap back here, and that completely cleared up the issue that I was having on a duty issue Sig P320, which I think is maybe the same issue that some of you guys are having with this. So not to fear, I think that fix can be remedied, but obviously that's why we put a bunch of rounds down before we decide to conceal carry or to have a bedside gun dedicated to that, right? So keep it up, you know, keep the shooting up, keep the questions up, and keep up the likes and subscribes. I'll be coming at you guys with some more. I really appreciate it. I appreciate your viewership. Thanks for tuning in.